Hello, everybody. Welcome. I hope my earrings don't make too much noise. I just got back home from work. It's spring break, so the office was super dead. So here I am. Hi. That's why I'm all dressed up. If you see Bailey's paw in the background, it's because she missed me. You guys can see my hair is straight. Yeah, new change. Don't have a relaxer, so it's not like a real new change. It'll be back to curly in a little bit. Anyway, so this story time is going to be about my old roommates. I have multiple roommates horror stories, but this is going to be about the absolute worst roommates I've ever had in my entire fucking life. And I am not exaggerating. You can ask anyone who knew me at that time. I was so embarrassed to have people over at my house. These bitches were dirty, okay? They were dirty. They were filthy. They were disgusting. They were dirty, filthy pigs and animals. It was so gross. It was so gross living there. So I'm going to give you guys a story naturally, and I guess let's just start from the beginning. Oh, also, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video with anybody that you would like to share the video with, please and thank you. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter at LOLNotDarian. Okay, anyway, okay. So let's start at the beginning. So this was my senior year of college. I had ended up doing 5 years instead of 4, because I didn't know what I wanted to do for the second to last year, or I didn't know what I wanted to do degree-wise. I don't know why it's the second to last year. I didn't know what I wanted to do degree-wise. My junior year, I ended up not getting accepted into nursing school, which is what I was kind of trying to go into. And so when I didn't get accepted, my mom was like, okay, well, you need to take a break. You need to take a semester break, figure out what the fuck you're going to do, because my mom was paying for my school entirely, completely. And so she was like, I'm not going to keep shoveling out money until you figure out what you're going to do. You're going to take a semester break, you're going to think on it, and then you're going to give me an answer at the end of this spring so that we can get you enrolled in classes and get you started. So I decided to go into accounting, blah, 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 started school back up, and I did the entire accounting program in 2 years in a summer semester. I was in and out. My first year coming back, I lived with my best friend and one of her good friends. And we had one other roommate that my best friend and I knew when we were in middle school, but she was going through a lot of stuff, so she was never really there. And so my best friend, one of her other friends that she shared with our other roommate, was always there, and we basically just count her as a fourth roommate. But it was phenomenal. I loved, still to this day, if I could live with anybody, I would live with them again. It was so good. I loved that living situation. There were so many times where it just literally felt like home. I remember we would have times where which I gotta tell y'all that story time about one of my ex-best friends. But I remember she was over and she was being a weirdo or whatever. And my friends and we had woken up, and I think my best friend had stayed at her boyfriend's house, her boyfriend at the time, fiance now. She stayed at his house that night, and so she came back home early in the morning. I had woken up early in the morning because I just naturally wake up around 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and 9 is pushing it. That's when I'm exhausted. But and I went out into the living room, and she was sitting there, And she was like, oh, hey. I was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And we got some tea. We sat down, drank some tea, and we were playing Roomy Cube. If you guys don't know what Roomy Cube is, it's so fun. But we started playing that, and then our other roommate came out of her bedroom, and she's like, oh my God, hey, you guys. And so we made her some tea, and I think we sat there, drank tea, and smoked a blunt, and just like played Roomy Cube the entire morning. And it was, I don't know if you guys saw that. My cat just like tried to jump on my fucking head. Anyway, but like that's like one of my favorite memories from living with them. So as you can see, it was so homey. It was so nice. So imagine the shock. And also, hey, stop playing on my blinds. Imagine the shock and the cultural shock, because so I didn't go through a bad roommate situation since my freshman year of college. Like my very, very, very first year. So 2017, 2018 was the last time I went through a bad roommate situation. And then the next time I went through a bad one was 2021, 2022. And in between that time, I either lived. Bailey! My bad, you guys. She was getting on my nerves. Anyway, so where was I? Oh, yeah. So my sophomore year of college, my second year of college, I lived with all Black people. Then my third year, I lived with my friends. And then my fourth year, I lived with my friends who were also all Black people. So I didn't really have any roommate issues for about three good years. I didn't have any roommate issues. So then, my senior year comes. One of the other roommates, not my best friend, but the other roommate, she and our like fourth roommate had graduated. And so they were like, gone or whatever. And I needed to cut back on money or, expenses. So because I think we got like a deal or whatever to move into the apartment that we had, but it was a bigger 4-bedroom unit than what we needed. So I moved to the smaller 4-bedroom unit that was on the first floor. I think it was like maybe $100 less a month. And I was like, okay, I can make do. I couldn't make do, but it is what it is. Really. You're pissing me off, little girl. Stop. There's nothing around it. What do you want? There. You happy? She's about to knock this mug over onto my laptop and my phone. That's why I'm like getting irritated. Okay, anyway. But I was going through a period of my life where I didn't really know much about myself. It was like right after like quarantine and COVID and everything. And I was also just like, I was going through a lot. And so I didn't really know much about myself. So when it came to the roommate selection, like your preferences and things, I just said I like anime. I should have said I like anime and doing my natural curly Black girl hair. So I could like get some Black roommates, because oh my God, I probably would not have went through what I went through if I had some Black people in his house. But so that's all I said. I like anime. And they put me in a unit, or I got my roommate thing. I get my roommate email, like, like, oh, this is who you're going to be living with. And so I look at the email and I see 3 people's names. And one thing about, one thing that might be helpful for you guys to know is that I was a tutor. I did tutoring for accounting, and then I was also a student grader for the accounting department. And the thing about being a tutor is that you have access to everyone's grades, their GPA, what classes they've taken, their classification, that whole thing. And then also a picture of their ID picture. And so I I know it's bad, but I was like, okay, let me go look them up. So I literally just looked them up in the student directory for for tutors. And I saw who they were. There was one girl I couldn't see. So we're gonna give them names. One will be Addison. The other will be Emerald, and then the last one will be Cara. So Addison and Emerald were both grades under me. So I think Addison was a junior, and then and then Emerald was a sophomore, I think. Addison did equine science, which is literally, she was a fucking horse girl. She was a horse girl. Equine science is learning about horses and like learning how to maintain horses and all that shit. And then Emerald Emerald was a CJ major, criminal justice major, and then Cara was actually a PhD student. So she was essentially new. So she went to school somewhere else and then came to our school for her PhD in forensic psychology, I think. No, forensic science, because we're the only school in the entire nation that has a PhD program for forensic science. And so she didn't have a picture yet. She obviously didn't have any grades yet. So she was just a wild card, basically. I just knew what she majored in. So we email each other, get each other's phone numbers. Then they start a group chat and we start texting. We're talking about, what we're going to split, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, do you guys want me to bring cutting boards? And they were like, oh, we have cutting boards already. Don't worry about it. I was like, okay. Do you guys need blah, 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 blah? Like, we were just doing that whole thing. But, yeah. So, fast forward, I move in. And I'm not sure if I move in before everyone else or what, but I don't think I do. I was supposed to be moving in before everyone else, mainly because I had already lived in the apartment complex. And the way it goes is like, if you already live in the apartment complex, then as soon as your lease is up for your old apartment, you can literally just go and take your, as long as you are moving to a different unit within the same complex, you can just go and take your stuff from your previous apartment and move it to the next apartment as soon as your lease is up. So let's say, I think my lease was up on July 31st. I went to my apartment on July 31st and moved my stuff from my old apartment to my new one. Whereas if you were a new student, you weren't able to move in until August 16th. So that whole thing happened or whatever. So when I came in, remember how I said I liked anime? I saw somebody with I saw someone's like stuff out in the living room, and they were like, in baskets and things like that. And I saw a poster that was like kind of like a scratch off poster, and it was like after each anime that you watch, you scratch it off. And that was what the poster was. And so I realized that was the only reason that they moved me in there, was because we liked anime. Because also, like, even though it's the only thing I put in my description of like myself, she's on my fucking counter. Get off! Even though I put that as like my description of like, my interests or whatever, there were still other things on the roommate application that the office didn't pay attention to. Like my AC preferences. I like it a little bit warmer. Sorry, I'm the type of person, I don't like when people have the AC on something lower than 70. Like, if I have it lower than 70, I have to be having a heat flash. Like, that's the only time. Even when it's like hot as fuck outside, I'm not about to have the AC on 69, 68. No, it's gonna, like, the most it'll be on is 70. But yeah, I usually have, like, I'm pretty sure my AC right now is on 75. And I'm in a fucking long sleeve dress. Like, and I'm chilling. I'm not hot. I'm not burning up. I'm not nothing. So that should give you some insight on, like, me. But I like my AC a certain way. I told them that I like my house to be very, very, very tidy. Very tidy. It may not look like it. It may not look like it in the background, because I'm like in the middle of the week. But I usually do a deep clean every Sunday. I do all my laundry, which my laundry is already done. I've been doing it this whole week. The only things that I have on the floor really are Bailey's toys. There's nothing else on the floor. I sweep my floor literally every day. Like, I do the dishes every day. I do the dishes every day without fail. And like, if the only time I don't do my dishes is if like I'm running out because I got to go meet up with my friend for something, or running out to go to my boyfriend's house for the weekend, or I'm just dog fucking tired because I've been working all day. But like, other than that, I wash my dishes every day. I don't like the trash to get filled up and stinky and nasty. Like, I'm a very, 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 very clean person. And that was like the biggest thing for me. Like, I think that's also what I put. I put, I like anime, and I like my house to be very clean. Like, I run a tight ship. I think the only people that probably keep their house cleaner than me is the fucking military. Literally. And so maybe them bitches was lying on their application. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they was lying on their application, but like, it doesn't make any sense why I had to put up with this. So I get there, I see the anime poster. I'm like, okay, so that's the reason why they put me in this house with them. Okay, cool, whatever, go off. And it's so funny because the poster that the person who it belonged to was Addison, which was like the main person I had issues with, and you'll see. Fast forward, I move all my stuff in, and I'm living there. Cool, whatever. I don't think we have any like real rules, which is a red flag. There should have been rules. But I meet Zara, not called her Kara. I meet Kara for the first time. She is so sweet. I love that girl. I love her. She made me a birthday card, like by hand, for I think that was my 23rd birthday. Yeah, for my 23rd birthday. I still have it till this day because I was just so sweet. Like, she is just a sweetheart. I love her. She'd be going through her stuff or whatever, but she was always just so kind and so considerate. Emerald, she was a weirdo. She was a weirdo. She was a weirdo. She was a weirdo. And like, you have to keep in mind. So this girl was always sick. And this is like post COVID type thing, or not even post COVID, because I ended up catching COVID later on that year, and I'll tell y'all about that later on in the video. But she was always sick. And I remember, like, the thing with her is that her and Addison loved hanging out in the kitchen living room area. And the issue with that is that if you're sick, you need to be in your room away from everybody. If you want to be in the living room, fine, because our living room and kitchen were like very separated. Like, it wasn't separated by a wall, but it was like the couch is facing this way and the living room, the kitchen is like all the way over here. So it's just like, why are you sitting at the kitchen bar coughing and sneezing and hacking around people's food? That's disgusting. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care, like, how much you don't care about germs. That is nasty. That's gross. And I remember I was in the kitchen. Addison wasn't even in the kitchen because, so basically Emerald and Addison were best friends. And so they were living together and they lived on one side. So it was like, here's the kitchen and here's the living room. So the kitchen is long ways. The living room is like narrow. And my room was on one side of the living room and my door was like in the living room. Behind my room was Kara's room. I keep forgetting what her name is. Was Kara's room. So it was like the kitchen, and then her door was like a little hallway. Like it had a little hallway, and then it was her door off of the kitchen. And then right inside the kitchen on the other side was Addison's room. And then like this was a wall where Addison's door was. And then on the other corner, like on the other wall, that was like, when you went that way, this was the living room. This was Emerald's room. So this was Emerald's room. So they were like best friends or whatever. That's why like I ended up having to deal with both of them. But anyway, Emerald was always in the kitchen and she was there even when Addison wasn't. And she wasn't even doing anything. She wasn't eating. She wasn't doing no homework. She was literally just sitting there on her phone, coughing and hacking and sneezing. Oh my, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, bitch, why are you sick? Why are you out here and you are sick and it's COVID? What the hell is wrong with you? So I'm like looking at her because one thing about me, my face cannot conceal how I'm feeling. So she's coughing and sneezing and hacking. Oh my. And I look at her and I'm like, and she goes, oh, no, don't worry. It's not COVID. It's just strep. Now, maybe I'm a bitch for this, but I don't want either one. Okay? I don't care if you got COVID. I don't care if you got strep. I don't care if you got pneumonia. Bitch, I don't even care if you got the mumps, the measles, rabies, whatever the fuck you got. I don't want it. Go in your bedroom. All you have to do is literally turn your chair around and you are facing your bedroom door. Why are you not inside of it? That don't make no goddamn sense. Why are you out here? Why are you out here? Why are you out here? I'm gonna ask you again. Why are you out here? Like, it was just, oh my God. Girl, I'm getting mad all over again because it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's just strep. And she literally had strep for like 2 months. Like, this bitch was coughing and hacking and sneezing, oh my, in the kitchen and in the living room with strep for 2 fucking months. So that was that. Fast forward. That was like, one of the things. So anyway, when we were living there, it became very apparent to me very quickly that these bitches were nasty. Okay? Not Kara. Kara, she cleaned, like, she did not make a mess. She kept her mess confined to her bedroom, which is how it should be. Keep your room a mess. Keep the area, the space that you share with other people, keep that clean. Be A decent fucking human being. It's that simple. So she would, like, whenever she would cook or whatever, she would clean her dishes right then and there, immediately. And she only had dishes that were like, pots and pans. But when it came to, like, bowls, plates, utensils, they were all plastic. And she had one singular cup, and she would wash that cup after every use and keep it in her room. So she was very clean when it came to sharing spaces, as was I. If I didn't wash my dishes as soon as I got done, it was it was because I was tired. Literally, I was a senior taking 18 hours, so 6 classes in total that were all junior and senior level classes. And on top of that, I was working 2 jobs. So forgive me if sometimes I didn't wash my dish like immediately after I used it, but it would never be in there for more than 2 days. I would because I didn't do that. I didn't want to do that. That's disgusting to me, especially because a lot of times I didn't have that many dishes to spare to go longer than a few days without washing my dishes. Now, maybe I can go like a week, but I still keep all my dishes. Like, I wash the ones that I need to wash by hand, and then whatever I don't have to wash by hand, it'll sit in the dishwasher until I'm ready to run the dishwasher. Back then, the most it would go is 2 days. But like, I would never let it go for more than 2 days because I couldn't afford to let it go for 2 days, especially because I always cooked at home. I like very, very, very rarely ate out. So I always used all of my plates and bowls and utensils and all that shit. And so I had to wash them very frequently. Anyway, so Addison and Emerald were different in that way. They would keep their shit in the sink for weeks. Weeks. Okay, weeks. There would be times where I actually couldn't get to my dishes because maybe they had like parties or whatever when I wasn't home, because when I would come back it would be a gang of fucking dishes in the sink, to the point that I couldn't even locate where my dishes were to be able to pull them out and clean them. And the first couple of times I washed everybody's dishes, but I was like, these bitches aren't doing the same for you. Why are you doing all this work? Because I literally just wanted the sink to be empty because it was disgusting. And I have so many pictures, and you guys will see the pictures. There were times they would literally throw their dishes in the sink and there would still be food in the bowls. Literally oatmeal. And they would just throw it in the sink, wouldn't rinse out or nothing. I remember one time they were eating breakfast. They didn't want to eat one of the fucking breakfast sausages that they made. So they just put the plate in the sink with the sausage still on it. The fucking audio would fuck up. But basically what I was saying in this was just how fucking disgusting they were. And then there was one time I got a text message very early on in the semester. I think it was maybe only a month into the semester. And it was a text message from Addison. And I'm going to read it to y'all. When I say I am so freaking pissed, this is my third time recording this. So, basically, I need a mic for my laptop because this ain't working. So I'm gonna buy a mic this upcoming week. But anyway, what I was trying to say was Addison sent me a text message, and it said, "New rule everyone has agreed on, Darian. We aren't leaving dishes in the sink or on the countertops for more than a day. There is bugs." She means there are, stoop. "There are bugs and it just looks really sloppy in here and we would like to have company over." As if that's my fault. As if that's my fault. Remember what I told y'all? I like to do dishes every day. If I wasn't doing it every day, I was doing it every other day. But the dishes piling up and shit, that was not on me. And when I was venting to my friends and everything about it, they were like, you do your dishes. Like when we lived with you, you did your dishes. My boyfriend at the time, he was like, you do your dishes, you clean up after yourself. What the fuck are they telling you? Like, we would like to have company over and it's really dirty and blah. That's not my motherfucking fault. That's on you. That's on you. How about you make that rule for yourself? But so she said that, and then Emerald was like, okay, I'll do mine tonight. And Addison had told her thank you. So I replied, I said, okay, I will wash my dishes by the end of the night. I can't promise every day because I am pretty busy during the week, but I can hold myself to no more than 2 days since I am pretty good about keeping them clean. The next time you guys have a household discussion, please include me. Everyone cannot agree on it if everyone wasn't made aware of what is going on. Thanks. Because that was also my other issue is that, like, how are you going to say that it's a new house rule that everybody voted on? And I'm getting this text message 4 hours into my shift at work. So who is everybody? Because also, like I love to say, I was the only one paying actual bills. Everybody else's mommy and daddy or scholarships was paying for it. I was paying for my own fucking rent out of my pockets. My own rent, my own utilities. Why is the only person who is actually paying something in the fucking house being excluded from household discussions? And so that's why when I sent that, this is why Cara was like forever my bitch, because she has Asperger's. So sometimes she doesn't, well, actually, she has Asperger's. So she was telling me like, later on, this is like why or whatever. But at the same time, sometimes I feel like even in general, nobody would really think that it's like a household discussion. So she had came knocked on my door after I sent that text message later on in the night when I got home, and she was just like, "I'm so sorry. Like I didn't know that it was supposed to be a house discussion and a house vote. I was in the like I came into the living room and Emerald and Addison were sitting in the living room and they were just like, "Hey, Cara, don't you think it's kind of filthy in here?" And Carl was like, "Yeah, I mean, it's kind of gross." And they were like, "Yeah, it's all these dishes. Like, we want to have guests over, and it's so fucking embarrassing because we can't have guests over because all these dishes and everything all over the sink and and all over the counter." And Carl was like, "I mean, I understand that." And they were like, "Yeah, so I think we should probably not wash our dishes, or we should probably not have our dishes in the sink and on the counter for more than a day. Don't you think that's reasonable?" And Carl was like, "Yeah, I mean, that's reasonable." And they called that a house vote. And so she was just like, I thought we were literally just like talking about how dirty it was. Like, I didn't think that it was an actual discussion and they were going to make it an official vote type of thing, or else I would have included you. And she was like, "And from now on, if they talk about anything regarding the house, I'm gonna include you regardless, since I can't really tell if it's just us having a conversation or if it's an actual discussion that's being had." And that's why she is forever my bitch, because she was the only one that came up to me and like apologized and was just like, it was never my intention for you to feel excluded, and I understand why you were upset. The other two bitches, they literally didn't even acknowledge my message. And so, like, fuck them forever. But yeah, so I wanted to tell y'all that part. My audio kept like clicking out and in and out and in and out, and it was fucking up. So I couldn't actually say it to you guys. I deleted the clip and I just decided to like refilm it. So here it is. Bye. I would like load the dishwasher up. They would put their dishes in there as well, and then I would run it. And in the morning, sometimes like I would be running late because I would be out of the house sometimes from 7:30 in the morning until 10 p.m. So I was like, there were times where I was extremely busy, and like it would be like me going to class, and then work, and then I had an evening class all the way like in a whole different city that I had to drive to. So sometimes I wouldn't be able to clean out, like unload my things until 10 p.m. And so they would take my dishes out of the dishwasher and put them on the counter instead of just waiting for me to come home. Or there were also times, because like when I would go to my evening class, I would actually like I would get off of work at my tutoring job at like 4, I think, because I had to be in the other city. Like I had to be somewhere 45 minutes away at 6 p.m. So I would get off of work at like 4. I would get to my apartment at like 4:15, and I would make myself something to eat before I had to get back on the road to get to my evening class. Um, and so literally, I would come home at 4 and my dishes would be sitting on the counter. They would unload it and stack it on the counter. And so I was just like, okay. So I started like, I was just like, okay, what, like, I guess that's how we do things. They couldn't wait, whatever, whatever. And like, it like irritated me, but it wasn't such a big deal to the point that like, I was like, they need to fucking stop. Like, it was just like, I guess they couldn't wait for me to unload my stuff for them to put their stuff in there. So that's fair, whatever. So there would be times where I would wait for them to unload their stuff. And not just the dishes, but the laundry too. But I'll get to the laundry. There would be times where I would wait for them to unload their stuff because I had dishes just piling up in the sink and I was trying to put them in a dishwasher, but they were taking too long. And like it would literally be like 2 days before somebody came and got their dishes. So when they started taking my dishes out of the dishwasher and loading them onto the counter, I was like, okay, that's how we're doing shit. So when I would have to wait for them to take their stuff out, I'd be like, no, I don't. I don't have to wait for shit because they didn't. So I would take their stuff out of the dishwasher and put it on the counter, just like how they did with my shit. Tell me why I get a text message in the group chat saying, hey, I don't know who's responsible, but can you please stop taking my stuff out of the dishwasher? If you want me to take my shit out the dishwasher, then just ask. But please don't touch my things. Oh, so when it's you, you don't like it. That was from Emerald. I was like, oh, okay. So like when it's you, you don't like it. But when it's me, we can just do whatever the fuck we want with Darian shit. So I texted her back in the group chat and I was like, oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I'll ask you next time. I just thought that was the precedent that was set because every time I take too long to take my dishes out of the dishwasher, aka like 8 hours or something, I come home to it on the counter. I've been waiting for you to take your things out for 2 days and it still hasn't been taken out. So, my bad. I'll ask you next time. And she just thumbs up the message and it's like, yeah. And I know even if she didn't do it, I know she probably had a conversation with Addison. Like, are you touching her shit? Like, don't do that. Because after that, they didn't put my stuff on the counter anymore. So that was that. Another time, or another thing, they would take too long to move their clothes in the washer and dryer to the point that I would have to me and Cara would have to switch off laundry days every other week. So I would do my laundry on a Saturday and then I would have to skip a Saturday so that Cara could do her laundry on a Saturday and then she would skip the next Saturday so I could do it. And we would just do it like that because Addison and Emerald would do their laundry and keep their clothes in the washer and dryer for days on it. Like when I say days, I mean like 3, 4, 5 days. Sometimes like to the point that we would literally have to go and knock on their door. Me and Carl would have to go and knock on their door and ask them to take their stuff out of the washer and dryer because it didn't do anything to text them. I would text them all the time. Can you please move your stuff? Can you please move your stuff? Can you please move your stuff? Yeah, I'll do it. And they never did. And they would literally keep their stuff in there for so long that like when they finally did move their stuff, it was because they had another load to wash. And it was just like, this is unacceptable. Like, out of the people that are here, I'm the one actually paying their rent. Your mommy and your daddy is paying your rent. Why the fuck can I not use the washer and dryer that I pay hard-earned money to have in my apartment? That's fucking ridiculous. Why am I having to go 2 weeks without washing my clothes because you can't be bothered to get your shit out? If you can't be bothered to get your shit out, then don't be fucking bothered to even put it in there. It's that simple. It is that simple. It's like the same thing as like if you can't be bothered to watch your chicken fry on the stove, then you just won't cook it because you don't want something to be burned. If you can't be bothered to take your shit out of the washer and dryer when somebody else needs to use it, then don't put it in there in the first fucking place when you know that it is there for you to share with the other people in the house. Like, and so I would put their clothes. Sometimes I would get so fed up because I'm like, I need to do laundry. And so I would literally take their shit out of the dryer and put it on the couch. And I would get a text message literally within the hour. Hey, can you not touch my things? Can you please just ask me whenever you need to move my stuff? And I text them back. I do ask you, and I don't get a reply for days on end, and it stays in there for days on end. And they just like the message and then do it again. And it's just like, I fucking hated these bitches so much. I hated these bitches so much. I hated these bitches so much. I feel like DDG. I hate these bitches so much. Like, oh my God. I hate these bitches, bro. One of the other things, I should have never said this, and I understood now why, like, my old roommate, she said that she wasn't okay with living with dogs. So, Addison, when I moved in, Addison had she had a Shih Tzu. And her Shih Tzu was a 14-year-old tiny little brown Shih Tzu named Pixie. And she was so sweet, so cute. She was old, so she was like, a little bitch whenever it came to like my best friend's dog. Because my best friend also has a Shih Tzu, but he was like, I want to say like 3 at the time, maybe 4. And so she was like, she wasn't really fucking with him just because he was a baby to her. But she was really sweet. She was really good. One day, one day, Emerald told me that she was going to move her dog in. I think her dog had been staying with her boyfriend's brother. And so now that she had an apartment, she was settled in, she wanted to bring the dog to our apartment. And I was like, okay, whatever. So she brought her dog, and her dog's name was Deuce. And he was like this big old husky. He was a baby. I think he was like no older than a year and some change. But he was so sweet and he was so good. The only thing he would do is like he would whine and howl whenever she would leave the house, but like that was it. And it wasn't anything that I couldn't deal with unless I was trying to take a nap, obviously. And then Addison popped up with, when we first moved in, or when I first moved in, I saw that she had a boyfriend. And like, it wasn't anything like a big deal. They ended up breaking up. And the reason why I know they ended up breaking up was because she randomly started having a guy who was like this random black guy just started coming over her house all the time, or over our house all the time, and like sleeping over in her bedroom and things like that. So it was like, unless you like, getting down and dirty, you and your boyfriend broke up. But he had a Catalua named Ivy, I think. And Ivy was so sweet. She was so sweet. She was so sweet. She was the sweetest little girl. But she was not potty trained. So she, like, it was disgusting, to say the very least. It was so gross. There were times where it would literally be pee, just like a big ass puddle of pee in the middle of the kitchen. She would shit on the floor all the time. I remember one time I literally came home from work. No, I came home from my evening class. There there was always something happening when I had my evening class, because it was just like, of course, you wouldn't grant me peace on the longest fucking day of the week. Of course. But I came in, I opened the apartment door, and it was literally 4 puddles of liquid shit in front of the door. And I was just like, and I told Addison, I was like, Ivy pooped. Can you please come clean it up? And Emerald came out, and she was like, dude, Addison, that is fucking disgusting. And and Addison has screamed, she's like, she's sick. She can't help it. She's sick. And I'm just like, if she's sick, then why is she roaming around the fucking house to shit all over our floors? If she's sick, then keep her in your room until she feels better. And if she shits in your room, then she shits in your room. But why are you letting her shit all over our kitchen? That's disgusting. And then on top of that, it's like, if she's sick, if you don't want to leave her in the room, put a fucking diaper on her. Why is she allowed to roam around the house shitting the way she is? That's disgusting. And Emerald was like, dude, I don't care if she's sick. Like, if she did this in my room, I would have had to beat your ass. Like, this is disgusting. This is so gross. And like, she was even fed up, because that wasn't the first time. Like, even when Ivy wasn't sick, she was still shitting in our house everywhere. 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 The amount of pictures that I have of her just shitting all over our house is disgusting. And it's just like, this is so fucking nasty. This is so nasty. Oh my God. That bitch was so fucking, like, oh my God. She's so nasty. Fast forward, she got another dog. And this dog was Ivy's older sister, or I think baby sister. I can't remember. She was her sister. And her name is Eve. And Eve was potty trained, but she was very mean. Very, very, very mean. And she was only mean to me and my guests. But she wasn't mean to my boyfriend at the time. And if you want to make the distinction, my boyfriend was white. Me and all of my other company was black. She was very mean to all of us. And literally, she would like bark, and she would hunch her back. Like, you know, like how dogs like get these like really stiff shoulders, and there's, sorry, Bailey. That's how she would scream at me. And there were times like I could not live in peace with her. And that was actually Addison's dog. And I remember Addison literally was just like, Darian, I think I'm gonna get another dog. And I'm like, oh, you silly, goofy, ugly ass bitch. This isn't funny. Like, this isn't funny. You have to ask. You don't just tell me, I think I'm gonna get another dog. No, you ask, are you okay with another dog being in the house? She gave Ivy back to her ex, and then went and got Ivy's sister for herself. And I was just like, is she potty trained? She's like, yeah, she's potty trained. And I was like, okay. And like, cause I hadn't dealt with a mean dog yet. Like, I've never dealt with a mean dog. So it didn't even cross my mind to ask, like, what's her temperament like? So apparently she had gotten attacked by a pit bull. And so she was just like always on edge. But it's just like, why is she always only on edge with the black people in the house? That's weird. And there would be times where I would be leaving my bedroom to like go to class or go to work. And when she would hear my keys, she would bolt to the front of my door, like to my bedroom door, and then just stand there like this. And so when I opened the door, she would start screaming at me. And I'm just like, get your fucking dog, bro. Get your dog. And it didn't matter how many times I pet her, how many times I got acquainted with her. She was never comfortable with me. And she would be screaming at me every single day. Every day, multiple times a day, I would go to the kitchen. She would scream at me when I opened my door, like literally bolt out of the bedroom to meet me at my door and scream at me. Like it was just ridiculous. I would come in the house, she would bolt to the front door and scream at me. And then she went and got the dog spayed. And for some reason, she didn't. So I didn't experience this with my cat. Like when I got Bailey spayed, it was normal. Like everything was fine. But when Addison got Eve spayed, she was dropping discharge all over the house. There was literally like I could see like the puddles of discharge on our floor, in our kitchen, in our living room. It was gross. It was so disgusting. Then she gets another dog. And this dog is not hers, but it is her still kind of ex-boyfriend, but he comes over every once in a while. It's his dog. And he wants her to potty train this blue heeler. Yeah, it's a blue heeler. He wants her to potty train it. Why? When he lives in a house and she lives in an apartment with three other people, I don't know why she would accept that without like consulting anybody first, but she did. And so we had yet another dog who wasn't potty trained. He was so cute. His name was Dex. He was so adorable, but he was shitting and pissing all over our house, and I had to deal with that shit all over again for the last like 2, 3 months of me living there. And it was just so exhausting. It was so exhausting dealing with her, honestly and truly. And then anytime I tried to like confront her about it, here comes her fucking guard dog, her fifth dog in the house, Emerald, to defend her. And it was just like, can I catch a break, please? You know this bitch is disgusting just as much as I know, or just as well as I know that the bitch is disgusting. Can we be for real, you know? So I was staying with my then boyfriend's parents, like at their place over Christmas break. He and I would stay there together because we would celebrate Christmas with them. My family doesn't celebrate Christmas. So I I had left December 9th. And when I left December 9th, but I packed a lot of cold weather things. And this winter, this like particular winter, it was hot as shit. Like when I say hot as shit, I mean we were barbecuing on Christmas Day because it was 78 degrees outside. It was hot, okay? And I was working at Nordstrom at the time. Like I did seasonal at Nordstrom all throughout college. So I was doing the seasonal fulfillment position at Nordstrom at the time. And so it was hot as fuck when I was going to work every day. Like I'm talking about, I was sweating, my armpits were sweating. It was like hot, and the dock where we send out the orders and shit. But then like it was just also hot outside whenever I would go and do anything. And so I needed to go back and get more clothes. But let's rewind a bit. When I left on December 9th, Emerald was already gone. She packed her stuff, she packed her dog, and she went back home. Or when I was leaving to go back home, Cara had asked me for a ride to the airport because she wasn't from, like I said, she's not from Texas. She's from like Ohio or something. And so she needed me to give her a ride to the airport in Houston. She gave me $20 for gas money, or I think 40 or something. I think 40 because like her Uber would have been like over 100. So she was getting a deal. I was getting 2 full tanks because it only takes 20 to fill up my tank. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it for you. So when I left, she left, and she really left. Like she was out the state. Okay. So I came back December 15th or 16th because I was like, It's hot as balls. I need some short sleeve shirts. I need my shorts. I need my skirts, my short dresses. I need those because it's not given. It's not given with these sweaters and these long sleeves and these turtlenecks and these fleece line leggings, these jeans. No, babes. I need my Nike slides. I need my swimsuit. Like, girl, it was giving summer vacation. Okay, so I went back to Huntsville on a random day. I think it was like December 15th, December 16th, like I said. When I came back home, I heard Addison in her room watching TV. I see that the trash is still there, but it's only been a week. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. Get my stuff, pack up more, short sleeves and shit, and then I leave. So fast forward to after Christmas. I think, yeah, it's been about a good 2 weeks since the last time I came by. And before that, it would have made 3 weeks since last time I was like actually in my apartment, in my apartment, and not just like stopping by to get clothes. And my ex and I, we had COVID, and his mom had just gotten over a 2 month pneumonia stint from the last time she got COVID. So we could not be at his parents' house quarantining because we didn't want his mom to get sick again. So my apartment was empty. I knew my apartment was empty. Sorry. I knew my apartment was empty. So I went back to my apartment with my ex and we were just going to quarantine there. What I walked into was a hot fucking mess. There were gnats everywhere. 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 I'm talking about my roommate, Addison. She had plushies above her door. The plushies were covered in gnats to the point that they were nearly unrecognizable. When you open the cabinets and close them, gnats would fly off of them. There were gnats in the sink. Gnats everywhere. 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 The trash. The trash. The trash was the same trash that was there. Yeah. The same trash that was there when I left the first time. And you want to know how I know? I made a pack of snickerdoodles to take home to my ex's parents and my family. The pack was still there in the trash can. The sink had dishes in it and food in it. Some of the dishes have food in it, and then the sink just also had food in it. There were dishes in the dishwasher that had gnat eggs on the back of them. It smelled like something had died in there. Oh my God. And I remember just being like, what the fuck? 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 Why can't I just have a normal living situation? Why, 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 why did I have to be paired up with the dirtiest, nastiest, filthiest, most stank bitch on the fucking planet? Why? Why would you do that to me? Why? And I'm just like, there's no way that this is a thing. Oh my God. And I remember I came in and I was just like in disbelief, and pure and utter disbelief at the state that she left our home. So I have my ex record videos of the entire situation. And he just goes around, he records all the gnats, he opens the cabinets, slams them, you see the gnats come off, everything. And there was old, disgusting, nasty food in the fridge that hadn't been thrown out, not by me, by Addison and Emerald, because Emerald was good for that too. And I was just like, there's no fucking way. There's no way. So I send them the video and a text message. And I'm like, I literally was just like, this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, and I was just like, this is unacceptable. And I was like, the state that this house has been in lately is disgusting. And what I just walked into is a prime example of it. It is the worst example of it. This is disgusting. And I have to sit here for the next 2.5, 3 hours, however long it takes to clean this shit up. And then have to duck and dodge and weave through all these gnats so I could cook meals for myself for the next 2 weeks while I quarantine with COVID. This is appalling. And whoever left this, yuck. Like, literally just fucking yuck. And so Addison's like, oh, that was me. I'm so sorry. I got into a car wreck whenever I was on my way back from, or whenever I was on my way to my mom's house. I wasn't expecting to be there like the entire Christmas break. I was just expecting to like go there for Christmas and then come back, but I got into the car wreck, so I haven't been able to get back. I'll clean it as soon as I get home. Girl, I can't wait for you to come back and clean it. I have to use all of this. I have to be around all these fucking gnats. Like, I can't wait for that long. You know what I mean? Because we still had 2 full weeks to go before the next semester started up. I think the next semester started on a Wednesday. I got there on a Saturday. We still had 2.5 weeks left before she would even be back. So I was just like, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but this has been going on way, way, way before Christmas break. This is just the straw that broke the camel's back, and I am fed up. And Emerald was like, that's disgusting. That's disgusting, Addison. And then she's going to message me. She's going to text me. And she's like, wait, you have COVID? And I was like, yes, I have COVID. And she was like, okay, well, make sure that you disinfect everything that you touch, because I would hate for somebody to come back, home and catch COVID because of the germs. I'm sorry, weren't you the bitch that was out in the kitchen coughing and hacking up loogies with strep for 2 months straight, and you want to talk to me about disinfecting shit? Girl, go to hell. Go to hell. Go to hell. And stay there. Because what the fuck is wrong? Like, what? That is beside the fucking point. And I was like, okay. I think I thumbs up the message. I didn't even like acknowledge the message. I just thumbs it up. And I was like, y'all need to do better about how y'all keep this house clean, because this is absolutely fucking ridiculous, and it should never have gotten to this point. The fact that the trash is still here from 3 weeks later, and you had been staying here for the past 2 weeks, that's unacceptable. That's in relation to the filth that I lived in. Fast forward, one more thing before like the whole big old finale or whatever. I remember There was one time it was cold. It was the winter right after like the winter freeze. So we usually have a few days every winter where it gets down to like 19, 17 degrees. This was that day. My ex was over at my house. We were still together, obviously. He was at my house, and we were in the bed, and it was one of those days when it was 19 degrees outside. Naturally, like I said, I like it warm, but like I was never OD when I like it warm. Like I'm never OD when I like it warm. And it's 19 degrees outside. I feel like that is like, it is understandable to have the heat on when it is 19 degrees outside. If you think I'm wrong, go to hell because this isn't your channel. So I don't care. But I don't care. But I feel like I was totally valid for turning the heat on. And I didn't even put it on like anything outrageous. I think I had it on like 71, 72 because it was freezing outside. And I know like Addison and Cara had like smaller windows, but me and Emerald's windows were humongous. And our beds were right up against the window, and the windows didn't have really great insulation. So when it was cold outside, it was freezing. When it was hot outside, it was burning up. So I was my boyfriend at the time and I were in my bedroom, and we were freezing to the point that in my own home I had to bundle up, and I had on fleece lined leggings and then some fleece lined sweatpants, a sports bra, a t-shirt, a sweater, and then a hoodie, and some regular socks, and then some fuzzy socks on after that. And I was sitting in my room like this, and he was dressed the same. And so I'm like, why is it so fucking cold in here? Like, why? I had the heat on. It was on 71. Like, sure, it should be a little chilly, but never like this. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And so I asked him, I'm like, can you go look at the thermostat and see what it's on? He was like, yeah. So he gets up and he goes out into the bedroom, and the first thing he sees is Emerald and Addison in the living room with their boyfriends and their dogs, and the patio door wide open. 19 degrees outside. And let me like also give y'all a visual. Let's say these are the three walls. So 1, 2, 3. 3 walls of the living room. My bedroom door is on this wall of the living room. The patio door is on this wall of the living room. And it's like you walk out, it's like the patio door is right here. My bedroom door is right here. So it's like right in front of my right in front of my bedroom door. They have the patio door wide open, and it's 19 degrees outside. And he's like, why the fuck do y'all have the door open? They're like, it's hot. No, it's not. You're being OD, you stupid fucking bitch. Like, oh, it pissed me off. So he goes and he looks at the thermostat. Guess what the thermostat is on? The AC is on 64. 64. It's 19 degrees outside, and they have the AC on 64. I was not being OD. I don't care what nobody says. 71 with the heat on and 19 degree weather is not being OD. You saying you hot, you're saying you're hot, and you go to the patio door and open the patio door and then put the AC on 60 fucking 4. And they had the fan on, not even on auto. They had it on. So it was just running. Just running and running and running and running. And so I'm like, and so my boyfriend, he goes, why is it on 64 degrees? And my door is open at this point. I'm like, 64 fucking degrees? Are they out of their goddamn minds? Like, I was so upset. And he had looked at them. He was like, "Are y'all not cold?" And they like giggled and they were like, "No." And so I went out there and I turned the heat on because you have to be out of your fucking mind. You have to be out of your mind. It's move out day. At least for me, because I graduated. I graduated that summer. You know, I graduated. So, got my BS in accounting. Anyway, so I graduated, right? I had to go back, get my shit, da da da. So Addison and Addison and Emerald, they had like a whiteboard where they would put each other's schedules on there, like their class schedules on there, so that they could see like, you know, what the other had going on that semester or whatever. And then they also just decorated it with you know, with pictures and like with like writing and all that shit. It was cute, I'm not gonna lie. But it was a cute idea. I wish me and my best friend did that. But so they had that, right? And there was a picture of Addison on there with her dog, with Eve. And I was so fed up, you guys. So when I left, I like, you know, packed everything I needed. Oh, excuse me. And after I left, or like, you know, right before I was about to leave, like I'm talking about, like I packed everything and I just have my keys in my hand. I just need to go start my car up and get back to Houston. I go to Addison's whiteboard, or I go to their whiteboard, and Addison had that picture of her, and I draw an arrow to it, and I'm gonna just put what I like said on the screen, but it was basically just like, "This is the nastiest stank bitch I've ever met in my entire life." What, bro? Let me read it. It was like, "Things Addison can't do." I'm gonna have to blur out the name. And I put the dishes, clean up after she cooks, clean up shit properly after her dogs, and unload her laundry. I should have went in so much harder, but I don't know why I didn't. But I like put that on the board, and I put it on the board in Sharpie. So, you know, yeah, I put it on the board in Sharpie. And I was just like, girl, that was like my last biggest fuck you before I left. But after that, I like blocked all of them. So I don't even know like if they said anything. I really don't give a damn. It is what it is. And that was that on that. It's forever fuck them bitches, because it was just, you know, I don't hold a grudge, but that was like the nastiest fucking thing I ever had to endure. Thankfully, like I said, I have my own apartment now. I am happier. I am, you know, but yeah, so it was just, it was a mess. Like, living with them was absolutely horrible. It was disgusting. And that's what I meant to say. There's so many other things that happened, but that was just like the main gist of it. It was just, it was ridiculous living in that fucking house. Disgusting. Anyway, I thank you guys for watching my video. Thank you for sitting here with me listening to it. Please subscribe. Please give the video a thumbs up. I will be doing more videos soon. Hopefully I can do more videos. I don't just have to do story times. Maybe I'll do a girl talk sometime soon. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.